Welcome back to, or just welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be a week of workouts, training for what feels like absolutely everything. So first event on the cards is Lisbon Marathon in just under 4 weeks. And prep for this has been a little bit of a weird one because I haven't set any time goals at all, just a PB, which I'm sure I can beat. And that's because I wasn't sure how my body would adjust and get back to training post ultramarathon. I did a 92-kilometer ultramarathon back in August. So if you haven't watched those videos, go do that after this. But yeah, I just wasn't sure if I was going to be injured, how fatigued I'd be, how long I'd need off running. But I've actually surprised myself with how quickly I've got back to it. So that is a good thing, but it means I do need to set some time goals because honestly right now I have no idea. Initially it was just a PB and now I think I want to aim a little bit higher. Then second thing is HYROX. I'm getting back into my HYROX training. Literally have not done any HYROX properly since World Champs back in June. I've just been like purely focusing on my running, which to be honest is where my HYROX was lacking anyway. That was the area I needed to improve the most in order to reach that next level. So first HYROX race is London Pro Women's Doubles with Grace in December. So still got a while for that, but we came fourth at the World Champs last year by like 3 or 4 seconds, also being some of the younger ones in the age category. So we want to do very well in London or this year in general, definitely aiming for a World Champs qualification and also a PB, of course, in this race. So HYROX training is ramping up. And then finally strength training. I'm also being super consistent with my strength training. I'm finally back to my like pre-hybrid training strength levels. So lifting the weights that I was when I was purely training for strength and hypertrophy, not doing any endurance training. And that's pretty cool to be back to those levels and just making the most of that while I can, because as I shift more into HYROX, it'll be more focused towards power and muscle endurance and not that raw absolute strength. So I'm just enjoying that training while I can. But those are my 3 goals: marathon training, HYROX and strength. So let's take you through a full week of workouts. First workout of the week is a 28-kilometer long run, which was meant to be our Sunday long run yesterday, but Ash was away. And obviously this is quite a big one in our marathon training, so we wanted to do this together because it's 28k, but with 12k at our marathon pace, which is around 5 minutes. So yeah, we've been absolutely smashing it. I don't even know what we've been doing, 440 to 450 pace, which is like significantly under our target. And I thought this is actually a really good like confidence run because I feel good. Do you feel good? So good. So this is like, okay, actually maybe this marathon goal is actually possible. But this is actually also like one of your first runs back, isn't it? It's my first long run. Post-ultra. Post-ultra. I haven't run anything over 12k. Yeah, we're still getting back into it. We did a crazy ultra, so this is like a true challenge, but I think we're smashing it. And so we've done, okay, right, so 6k warm up, 12k sub 5 minute pace, 10k cool down, which is crazy. 28k to start the week, so this week will be quite a high mileage week because we've got our long run today and then our next long run on Sunday, so big week of training coming up. Happy Tuesday morning, everyone. I didn't check in with you guys after our workout yesterday, but we did that 28k run and it felt amazing. The pace felt really good, really comfortable. However, my legs were in pieces afterwards. My calves were so blown up and everything was just so sore. So I booked in for a 1-hour sports massage, which was so needed. Probably the most painful one I've had in months, I'm not gonna lie, but my legs feel a lot looser now. Definitely a bit tender, as tends to be the case after a sports massage, but feeling a lot better. So Tuesday morning, I'm about to head in and do a bit of HYROX. I've got 2 sessions today. One HYROX session, which will be about half an hour long, and then a run, an easy run this afternoon. So an exciting day of training, really. Also, it's freezing in the UK. Like the weather has turned like crazy. Like it feels like ice when you go outside. It's like pure winter. However, it is blue skies today, so we'll have the shutters open in the gym and it'll be a stunning workout. Okay, Wednesday training sessions are done. I've had a bit of a shoot day, so Gary, the photographer I use, who goes to the same gym as me, has been following me around for the morning. So I did a HYROX workout first, where we did I did 2 EMOMs. The first one was ski, devil's press, wall balls, and then the second one was row, overhead lunges, and assault bike. So both of them were about 15 minutes each, and then have just come down to the track and done 5 by 800 meters, which I need to check my paces, but I was definitely a lot quicker than I thought. When I was doing my warm-up, my calves were just on fire, like I felt so terrible. But when I was in it, when I was looking at my watch, I was like hitting around 340 to 350 pace, which I'm super pleased with. But I will check the actual splits and put it up on the screen in a second. But that is Wednesday workouts done, and I've done them both like in a row, obviously while I have Gary, so I haven't eaten very much. I've had an ESN oat bar, which is like the perfect pre-training snack, but definitely not enough off the back of 2 hard sessions. So the plan is definitely to go home now and get some food, but that is Wednesday workouts done. Oh, also, actually, I forgot to update you again on yesterday. I did my, what even was yesterday's session? Oh, I did my HYROX, and then I also did like a 7.5k easy run in the evening with one of my friends, which I just didn't film because I didn't want the camera in their face, but that was a super chill run as well. So about halfway through the week now. I fear I may have messed up by leaving my 3 hardest sessions for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday session, which was yesterday, I was literally putting off all week because it was my hardest run session, like fastest and hardest, and I knew it was going to hurt. And it did, but I did, let's actually have a look. I can remember. So it was 1k warm up. Then it was 5 rounds of 1k at 4:39 pace, straight into 1k at 4:03 pace, repeated 5 times, and then 1k cool down. So it's 12k total, and that 10k in the middle was, according to my Strava, actually a PB, but I don't know if that's because when I've done fast intervals on the treadmill before, it doesn't sync up to a watch properly, does it? So whether I have done faster in the past, but my Garmin just hasn't registered it, or if that actually was a PB, because I haven't really done any long intervals like that for a long time. Even when I was doing my HYROX training last year and we were doing the fast intervals, I don't think I ever really got up to the 10k distance. It was always kind of around like 6 or 7. So maybe it was a PB, and it was hard, don't get me wrong, but I felt surprisingly good, especially on that 4:39 section. Like that felt very comfortable, and that really was like my recovery. Well, it was still hard, but it was very manageable. I knew I could like hold it. Last 2 fast Ks, my legs were burning a little bit though, but I'm overall super pleased with that, because obviously coming off the back of my ultra training and just doing loads of zone 2, I was really unsure how I was going to handle the speed training and how much speed I would be able to gain in that like 8-week block before Lisbon Marathon, but I'm feeling pretty confident. So that was a solid run session ticked off. Legs are feeling a little bit tired today though, and it's Saturday now and I'm about to head to the gym to train legs. So this is where I don't really know if I've messed up a little bit, because I've got legs today and a 32-kilometer run tomorrow. So that's hard run, legs, long run, all in a row. But I've been so consistent with my leg day recently, and I'm lifting the heaviest I have since March 2024. So while also being like the fittest I've ever been, I'm finally getting back to those like pre-hybrid training strength levels, and I really want to continue that. However, knowing I've got 32k to run tomorrow, is it the sensible decision to not be lifting to failure today? Probably. But when we get in there, we will see, because I would love to hit a 100 kilogram squat for the first time since last year. That ended up being such a good workout, and I really wasn't sure how I would get on, but I managed to lift my heaviest squats and RDLs since 2022. Sorry, that's my dog drinking water. Since 2022, so obviously I'm over the moon with that. I managed to do 100 kilograms for 5 reps, 90 kilograms for 5 reps, and 90 kilograms for 4 reps on squats. Then for RDLs, I did 105 kilograms for 6 reps, 105 kilograms for 4 reps, and then 90 kilograms for 8 reps. So absolutely over the moon with those lifts. I'm sitting at around 50 kilograms body weight, so both of those lifts are basically repping double body weight, so I'm super happy with that. Then I did some machine hip thrusts, leg extensions, V-stance RDLs with rotations, and seated hip abductions, and again I increased the weight from everything I'd done the week previously. So overall, a really solid leg workout. Final session of the week is a 31k long run, and we've decided we're going to do it easy because we did do pace work on Monday and we've also done speed work within the week, so it's probably the sensible decision to take this one a little bit easier and save our legs. But yes, second longest run of our whole marathon blocks. We've got 31 today, 34 next week, and then we start to taper. One of the perks of training for and running a 92-kilometer ultramarathon is that a 31k run really doesn't phase us anymore. And we had a super chill conversational run, and we basically just gossiped for 3 hours, which is why I always love doing my zone 2 runs with Astra. But that rounds off a week of workouts, and hopefully it gives you a bit of an insight into what it's like juggling strength training, running, and HYROX. Not gonna lie, it is pretty hard, especially off the back of an ultramarathon, straight into a marathon block, straight into a HYROX block. It is not easy, but I have some big goals I want to achieve this year, and I'm already so pleased with the progress I'm making. So I know it's time to just get my head down and get on with it. But thank you so much for watching this week of workouts. I always say this, but I promise I will be getting more consistent with YouTube. I'm actually moving flat, hopefully by the end of this week, maybe next week, which is super cool. So I'll have more space to film as opposed to being at home with my family as I am now. But as always, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you again for the next one.